Welcome to Hope Talks Podcast, Conversations for Special Needs Families, where we share information and resources that give families hope, not just today, but also for the future. And today we are going to be talking about a subject that so many families worry and stress and think about, and that is college. If you have a neurodivergent young person in your life, there's a lot of questions you're probably asking, like, will they still have a 504? Will they have an IEP? How do I get accommodations? We're going to talk about that today, and I've got some experts with me. I'm Julie Cadman. I'm with Healing Complex Kids, the co-founder of Healing Complex Kids, as well as the co-author of the Pathway to Hope Resource Guide for Special Needs. And today the experts I have are Shane and Ruth, and they are from the Neurodivergent Alliance. Did I say it right?
Neurodivergent Student Alliance.
See, got it right. Neurodivergent Student Alliance from Oakland Community College. So, start with Ruth Ann. Has there been any accommodation or routine or any support that has made the biggest difference in terms of helping you?
In terms of routine, personal routine is having a capsule wardrobe, having everything packed and ready to go.
Oh, wait, back that up. Capsule wardrobe? Oh, you are on. Look at you.
Yes. It's best to try and have anything in your personal life, like wardrobe, food, all that prepared, ready to go, and simplified as much as possible so that way your brain isn't working overtime on something that will not benefit you in the long run or will benefit you in that moment, but not in classes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really good advice.
And then what helped me was the support of my family and them believing in me. And then with accommodations, I have a personal recorder that doesn't just record, but also takes notes, helps out wonderfully, and also not having shame and sitting in the front of the class. Sitting in the class works wonders. Just that small thing can change a lot. And also asking for tutoring as well, because there is free tutoring, at least at our community college.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you have your whole checklist. You know the things that you need to be successful.
Oh, I have to have a checklist. I have both autism, but also ADHD, so it's a little bit too warring together, but we coexist peacefully.
I am a checklist queen. I get it. Got my checklist. What about you, Shane?
Absolutely. I do agree with the checklist, but being walk distance away from the campus, being walk distance away from work, and being walk distance away from the grocery stores and everything else, it's definitely like a sign for me to just try to rethink back to like smaller things, like I said, like living one day at a time.
Well, just like always putting a plan together and then just going down their path. I mean, being able to change it when you need to.
Yes.
Do you have what do they call it? A bento box? You know, the kind I'm talking has little boxes to put your food in. Do you have one of those?
I personally do not have a bento box. I have a Titan.
Okay.
It's a more sturdier lunchbox that keeps stuff cooler for a lot longer, which is what I'm looking for, especially when I have my little set menu ready to go for both breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Because sometimes you may have to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and your snacks at the campus.
I want to hear more about your recorder because I know we've talked about this. I know about Otter and that you can use it on your phone. Do you have a separate recording device that you use?
I do have a separate recording device that I use because I like to keep my stuff separate on my phone and on my my educational stuff to just keep it safe. But also, you know, when the professor or instructor is tired and all that, they may forget that your phone is out for you to use the calculator or for you to record. And so they might,
call you out. And that can be very embarrassing because you have that accommodation.
Yes.
So let me ask you if you remember this, because this will be so fascinating for some families, because I know just having gotten Otter, the price point there, is it less expensive to get, I would think, the recorder and then just to continually take it and move it over? I would think that would be more reasonable.
It is more reasonable, especially since Otter is a subscription, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, having your own recording device and being able to transfer it to your laptop, iPad, all that is cheaper as long as you don't get a recorder that may have a subscription attached to it. That's what you have to look for when you're looking at recorders.
Okay.
So mine doesn't, but usually I just keep the recordings on my device because it also takes notes so I can read it in due time on the device.
You mentioned that your family has been really supportive. Has there been any specific support that they've given you that you would like to encourage other families to say, hey, this really helps?
Transportation does help, especially since I don't have a driver's license. It is a bit hard for me to try and get my license with my disability, but I'm still keep going at trying it. And not just in terms of driving them from point A to point B, but also my family's helped me with printing stuff out to get access to public transportation systems like the Smart Bus, WODA, and NODA, and People's Express. So that way I can have different branches of ways to get to the community college without, burdening. I'm not burdening to my family, but to lessen their load a bit.
But sometimes you feel like you want to be more independent, and then you can take a different transport, right?
Yes.
I like that. What about you, from a family standpoint? What would you encourage, maybe parents watching or grandparents or aunts and uncles? How can they support? Mm-hmm.
It's more like a making sure that you learn how to understand like what it is that your child is needing in terms of definitely transportation is a big one, but I would also say like
time management. You talked about that.
Yep, time management. Personal, like physical health as well as hygiene as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think any college student, you're in a commuter college, but there are colleges where they go away, and so many students just keep up with your laundry, clean your room, and there are some colleges that they actually come in and they check it, make sure on a certain day, and you get demerits, or you might get in trouble, or something happens if you're not. So it's a learning curve.
One thing that I've learned from my grandmother is that basically the age of like 20 to 29 or 20 to 30, or even just like 18 to 30, if you're just starting straight out of high school, is definitely a time where you just try to figure out more about yourself and try to figure out what you want to do with yourself on the long term.
Just keep going forward. You may try something and decide, this isn't really for me. Yeah. I don't really like it. And it may take you 2 or 3 times before you find the thing.
Exactly.
And you could be 27, 30, 32 years old and you're still, wait, this is what I'm doing, but not to give up because you fail once. It goes back to allowing yourself to fail.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Great.
And seeing how community college is always going to be there, like sky is the limit in terms of what you wanted to do.
There's so many things you can try. So after everything you've learned, and since we are talking about college success, what would you tell students and parents? Because they both have a different, they have a role to help each other. What would you tell the student and the parent?
That you can't go through life after high school alone. You just can't. You find the right type of people by showing up and asking a few questions, and the rest from there is just like let life guide you. That's all I can say.
And what about colleges? Is there anything you'd like to tell colleges in general? Because you've had a really good experience, it sounds like.
Yes, and one thing that I do learn is that as soon as you find your right community, there's absolutely no going back.
How would you encourage a college to help the neurodivergent population to find their people, to find their degree? Is there anything they can do to help? What do you think?
Proper advertisement, because we're working our butts off trying to advertise the Neurodivergent Student Alliance. Also advertising the accommodations, advertising scholarships, advertising the Smart Bus, advertisement, and making it easy advertisement too. So immediately when they know there's a student with accommodations, don't just send them the acceptance letter and a sticker, but also maybe a packet or a little pamphlet about what the school has to offer.
Now, let's go back to the student that's trying to hide it, because we still have some, or that say, yes, I don't need the accommodation. I'm doing fine until they do. How do we encourage the college to reach out and say, here, like maybe do something to all students if you think you need an accommodation? Because we talked, everyone has some degree of neurodivergence that they may need some additional help on.
So the environment is a big factor. So like celebrating Neurodivergent Pride Month, a month that celebrates people who are neurodivergent is one way to go about it. Another is allowing teachers and faculty to be themselves as well with their disabilities. Because in seeing that, the student feel more comfortable and being able to be more themselves and to accept themselves as being neurodivergent. Because they have to accept yourself first before you can be able to gain the strength to talk to others about your need, accommodations, your disability, and being able to learn more about it.
But going back to what we were talking about in terms of accommodations, in terms of things you need and what the college can do, let's talk about professors, the success you've had with your professors' office hours.
So sometimes they will offer. They'll say in the classroom. Most times they do not. So it's good to get that little courage and ask politely. Worst they could say is that they don't do it. But most of the times they do it. And they're willing to take time out, even on their off days, to help you out to be able to get the most out of your time in your classes, because they want you to succeed. Most of them want you to learn and succeed. And if that means that they have to take more time out of the day, then they will.
It's wonderful. And that's something that the big key that I think families and students need to know is that you have a 504 now, which is going to give you the accommodations under ADA. You're not under IDEA any longer, which means it's not an IEP. They're not chasing after you. It's now on you to chase after the professors, to chase after what your accommodation is, and let them know.
Yes.
And how did that feel the first time that you had to reach out to a professor? Was that kind of scary, or?
It was a little bit, I was anxious.
Okay.
Very anxious, but it worked out really well. And I was able to get that time to work alongside my professor, and I even allowed me to record our sessions so that way I can look back on them and to learn. And I did really well. I thrived. I learned.
And you learned how to self-advocate, which was so huge.
Which is a very important tool. Self-advocacy is the most important tool I think anyone will have in their toolbox, no matter how young, old, rich, poor, foreign, or local you are.
But we've also talked that it's still important to have that family support, so that, because sometimes not all professors are wonderful.
No.
And we've run into with some of my young adults and some of the families I've supported where maybe they haven't done the accommodation. So sometimes you need that extra body. I mean, you can still do the talking, but I think sometimes if your parent comes in with you, they're like, whoa, I better listen.
Yes, it's even if you're when you're an adult, or if you're in dual enrollment in the community college or university level, it still can be good to have a family member or a support system there when dealing with a difficult professor, instructor, because like I said, like, you know, most professors want you to succeed, but there are some where they're fine failing you because they don't care.
Right.
Why should they make accommodations? Why are you special?
That's difficult.
Yes.
So Shane, I'll start with you. If you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
Something that a friend from the autism spectrum told me when I asked myself the exact same thing, and she only texted me 3 simple words: then do it. And then she texted me afterwards when I did get off the plane, the only person that's stopping you from doing all these types of things that you want to do is yourself.
Oh, that's good. Wow. Okay, what about you? What would you tell your younger self that was nervous about starting college and now you're at the other end here?
You have to keep going. Don't be anxious if you have to be a little bit more assertive, especially when talking and getting the accommodations you need, because the politeness you were taught at a young age, it ends when you're not getting your needs met and you're starting to slip, fail, and burn. And it's fine to fail. But if it's preventable, you know, it's fine to be assertive. It's part of life. All adults have to be assertive eventually.
And if you need help, and if you need a parent to come in, it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
Right? Give it up. Yes. Oh, thank you both so much. There's so much information I think that we've unpacked, and I think just seeing how articulate and how well you're doing and how you have embraced your community, I think that's going to help a lot of families for them to see and hear. I'm so impressed, and I'm so glad that we were able to make this happen today.
You're welcome so much.
Thank you
so much for having us here. It's been a treat, and I can't wait to help you out again.
Me too.
future.
You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah.
For parents listening, I hope you take away not just the information, but also the encouragement that you are not alone in this. To take the next step, grab your copy of Pathway to Hope Resource Guide for Special Needs on Amazon. It's a roadmap filled with strategies, tools, and encouragement to help your family thrive. And for a personalized roadmap, check out the Hope Recovery Map on our Healing Complex Kids resource page. It guides families step by step with tailored tools and resources. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, where we share more tips, stories, and updates to support you every step of the way. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with another family who could use some hope. Together, we can make sure no family feels alone in teaching this important information. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, progress may be slow, but every step forward matters. And no matter where you are in the journey, there is help, there is support, and there is hope.